Chrissy would ride for Jim, they said. Regardless, sis isn't riding today. In the middle of traffic, she is pleading. On her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. Paramedic sir, why did you have to remove her from the sidewalk? Because Jim Jones was only a few hours ago hauled in handcuffs from his studio, exposed and humiliated. And you know who set not all of Camron's folks are the media. Not the police officers' relatives leaked an effing instead of a clip. Voice notes from a documentary that were erased, CCTV footage taken at a hotel in Chrissy, wasn't even aware that everything had dropped in a burner account, is already accruing views similar to a wildfire. And then it becomes even worse. That Vidia's voice wasn't, it was someone who was far too close to. Jim, what Chrissy is saying makes this, it feels like a long relationship. This isn't a love story or a hip-hop drama. This is a degree of betrayal that no one was prepared for. And currently, the internet's Chrissy and the blasting Harlem's in turmoil. She uttered a murmur beneath her breath that chilled even the police. Officers warned me that this would occur if I ever told the truth. But only after everyone had believed that things couldn't possibly get worse for Chrissy, things took a horrifying turn. Spread the word that she was being followed by neither fans nor paparazzi, however. By what insiders now refer to as a numerous private surveillance units, according to accounts. Camron's cousin, who used to work for a well-known private security company, a politician, is currently keeping an eye on Chrissy's motions for reasons that no one wants to formally acknowledge. One unnamed informant even stated, "They're not merely observing her, they're anticipating something. Nobody is aware of that, but the Chrissy's expression of fright when she was observed at a petrol station in New Jersey, pacing back and forth with trembling hands over the phone in a whisper, informed the entire narrative. And this is where it truly, yes, Camron's aunt is spinning out of control. The same person with whom you once had a dispute in the early 2000s. Chrissy had an incident at the Bet backstage, revealed a letter handwritten to a gossip page. According to her, Chrissy was the one who informed the police about Jim's covert encounter with the former crew participants who were subject to federal. If surveillance is accurate, then it's beyond treachery. It's war. Let's take a moment for a moment. This is not tabloid gossip. The letter has been written, signed, and dated. With flames, one sentence really states Chrissy was always aware that the streets were constructed for Jim. And she's currently playing cleanup staff in order to protect her own skin. The streets glowed and blogs went crazy. The informant, Chrissy, became a trending Black Twitter nighttime one topic, and individuals shared this. Like if El Chapo's on Instagram Live, the girl snitched and sobbed after. "I'm not buying it," stated another. "Sobbed much," which is not sadness, but guilt. What about the broken video now? The internet at approximately this Camron's family was released once the letter was dismissed. The video that they dubbed the final straw, altered to resemble the trailer for a Netflix documentary, begins with security. Video taken by a Jim is in a rooftop lounge in Manhattan, seen delivering an enigmatic envelope to a hooded figure, chilling without sound. Quiet. The video ends with Chrissy leaving. 5 minutes later, looking at an Uber, nervously looking around the block. And then blazing lights, Jim in, and FBI coats cuffs. But this is where this was added by the cousin who uploaded the video. The entire story has been included. In the caption, "This is what the world didn't see. Distorted." She was aware that she had guided him there. Are we observing a theory of setup? Began to overtake Reddit, YouTube, and even one well-liked TikTok thread explained it. Like a scene in a movie where Chrissy persuades Jim to reconcile with his elder affiliate. Scene 2. She unintentionally implies a time and location while being aware of that the Fed has been keeping an eye on. She appears in Scene 3, sobbing, knowing people ate what was going to happen. Kay, including Mona Scott, was declined to comment on a number of sticky situations in the past, shared a mysterious tale that stated, "Silence can sometimes protect the culpable." Supporters believe that was intended to Chrissy, Let's now discuss the supposed various financial paper trails according to unconfirmed rumors. Chrissy launched a fresh offshore account 2 days ago. A cool deposit was made prior to Jim's detention. Guess who sent Shell $250,000? Business that one of Camron's relatives owns. Coincidentally, no one believes that one user even shared a screen grab of the supposed transfer with a statement. She made money. Her boyfriend for influence and money. You have folks in a narrative spiral, claiming that Chrissy is a government. Others claim that she was tricked by Camron's family, believe that Jim was leaving her for a younger person, thus, in a panic, she struck a bargain. In actuality, it's messier than we viewed. And if you believe Jim doesn't, according to insiders, he is refusing to, yes, straight, to answer her calls while she's in jail. Eventually abandoned her. The same lady who held him through the title of career comebacks. Disagreements and a dozen clothes, he won't even accept her after their breakups. Calls aren't really that chilly as Chrissy's court date approaches. Been observed going to church twice and wearing sunglasses at night for a week, and people are near as she walks with her head down. She claims that she isn't eating or sleeping, and continuously looking at her phone as if she's waiting for another shocking revelation to drop. And right when we believed the narrative while reducing speed, Camron's sister leaped. Yes, you heard correctly. She uploaded a monochrome picture of Jim and Chrissy captioned nothing. But the sentence and an emoji of a broken heart, you knew better. More than 80,000 people liked that post in less than 2 hours and without interruption in the comments. Chaos. People yelling for Chrissy to arrive, clean people protecting her. A few vocations for the airing of a full-length reunion special. Chrissy was well known for all of it. The woman with a strong exterior who had survived the tidal wave of hip and love hop's tumultuous connection with Jim appeared to be unbeatable. However, behind the scenes of their things at home were far from ideal. The late cracks were never noticed by the public. Arguments at night or the muttering dread she had supported Jim for many years during his legal issues and his street relationships and the constant dangers overhanging him. But the instant those around his wrists, handcuffs, clicked, seemed as though the cosmos had broken. The life that she believed she had created as her world was outside the courts, came tumbling down for reasons other than Jim was taken into custody, but because of what she weren't aware of what had been concealed from her. The very individuals she believed she could rely on had turned on her. And now that the cameras were flashing, speculation erupted on social media. The same individuals Jim had were Camron's relatives, renowned for dropping a deadly evidence that no one was ready for. The disclosures occurred hours after Jim was arrested. First, blurry videos, but Jim is clearly real in one of them. Observed in a contentious conversation with an unknown person, openly discussing plans that was unrelated to the life he had accumulated the weight of. These discoveries resembled a tidal wave, and it left Chrissy behind. She was drowning in fury and bewilderment. One message was continuously buzzing on the phone. One after the other poured in. All of the same startling news that Camron's family received information that might implicate not just... It was a betrayal for both Jim and her. Unlike anyone else, the very individuals who had her family was previously called, but they were now behind. Chrissy attempted to fix this terrible leak. Maintain your strength. Yet, it wasn't long ago tears started to flow, and the facade day of poise evaporated as the leaks kept inundating the public and media couldn't get enough. Instagram or Twitter and all other platforms burst with responses. With some expressing sympathy for Chrissy, she was accused of complicity by others. In Jim's plans, the world was starving, seeking clarifications, leaving Chrissy to respond to a query that she was unable to even start thinking about. How much of Jim's life had she really realized by now that Chrissy was portrayed by the media as the woman whose devotion had resulted in leading her down a hard and dark path? But the photographs and videos weren't the end of the story. The messages, they were just the Chrissy, starting back at the Residents faced a fresh conflict with the public against her personal life of the woman who had previously been the reality TV queen was suddenly the focus of a harsh spotlight. Every friend, every associate, everyone who had previously shared their lives was unexpectedly considered a possible suspect in this. Jim's arrest in the escalating crisis was only the start. But things weren't calculating whether Jim was a party to what was the reason behind Camron's. The family held off on revealing to Em what was the true reason for the leak. She was battling to a surprise the following day after clearing her own the lawyer's office visit took an unexpectedly. Chrissy entered the weight of the sterile office circumstances. Putting pressure on her shoulders, however, the lawyer's next words to her would alter the course of this entire story. "There's something you need to know," said he spoke softly, his voice just over a whisper. "We've been observing Camron's relatives for a while now. They've been assembling evidence against Jim, and it appears they had been anticipating the ideal moment to strike. But you're unaware of, is this the proof they have made public? Wasn't intended for general consumption. It's a component of something considerably larger." As Chrissy listened, her heart was pounding. Her mind was buzzing with inquiries about who pulling the threads that are causing all of this. What did Cameron's family hope to accomplish? And above all, Jim, the guy she believed him to be? Or had she been love has blinded me for? Years passed, and Chrissy was under strain. Increased as the rumors became more frenzied. The increased frequency of leaks and the pressure to keep her cool nearly terrible. But despite all, one thing stayed consistent with the sensation that she couldn't shake, the feeling that something was missing. It's a persistent feeling that followed by the last discovery late one evening as Chrissy went through her phone once more. The communication came from an unidentified number, the message was succinct, and the facts of the situation is worse than you believe. Chrissy clicked, her hands shaking. What she saw, and the link left her in surprise with a brand new video that has never been observed before had emerged this time. Instead, was someone she never thought would be one of Jim's closest friends and colleagues were caught in a discussion with Camron. Of course, Jim, the conversation was obvious to him, was never intended to be the one to fall, was a well-planned maneuver, one that would destroy the whole empire. Jim had put a lot of effort into it, but that Chrissy was in the most terrifying portion of the background. Unaware that the game is playing directly before her as the Chrissy's world appeared when the screen went black. When she collapsed again, she wasn't simply she was embroiled in a scandal while at the heart of a plot. Chrissy's viewing of that final video, everything she believed to be true, was much darker than she could never thought Jim was more than just he was a man she had supported for many years. Peace in. A riskier, bigger game that had been meticulously planned by individuals she believed she could rely on, and amidst everything, Chrissy discovered oneself torn between loyalty and treachery and a strong demand for the truth. The video that had been released suddenly, the stranger was chilling Camron. The discussion was informal, initially, but the true threat was evidently they weren't talking about business. They were planning, as usual, to set up a collapse that was significantly larger than Chrissy had expected. Everything. And in the background, which was hardly seen, was Chrissy isn't aware of the raging commotion surrounding her while acting as the devoted girlfriend, who is unaware of the deeper intentions behind Chrissy's heart ran through her head as she played back the footage. Whirled with unanswerable questions. How long had she been blind to the signs? Was this something Cameron's family had planned? It's treachery. And what part did she play in all of? She was merely a tool to achieve a goal. She was unaware that she was playing a game. As the music played, the texts began to pour in. Following the video's widespread success, every gossip website across all social media networks, the name of Chrissy was on everyone's lips. However, it wasn't the assistance she had hoped for, because the comment sections were completed. Includes charges, verdicts, and hateful. They questioned if she was involved in the rumor. How long had she been aware of Jim's filthy behavior? Transactions that Chrissy could scarcely observe. The world had turned away from the screen. on her. And amidst the confusion, Jim was the one person she most needed. In prison, and his quiet left her to fight this struggle. Despite being alone, Chrissy wasn't one to back down. She has experienced worse things in the past. She has been in the spotlight all of her life. It's close examination, and if there was anything she know how to keep the woman alive, who had made reality TV their career drama, who had battled valiantly to maintain the privacy of her private life, was now compelled to come into view in the most explosive manner conceivable. The first step was obvious. She had to locate out in the middle of the night. Everything Chrissy decided to do something that would alter everything. She contacted. Directly from Camron, it was a move that may either help or hurt her. Ultimately, Camron wasn't just any individual. He was a powerful individual with his own agenda. But Chrissy didn't feel threatened if she would discover the truth she had. To go directly to the source of the entire phone call was tense. Pause each time they felt a lull. Like a mine ready to blow up Chrissy's at first. Her voice wavered, but she soon discovered her power. And I am aware of what you've heard words. I know you've been behind it all. The videos are leaked. The lies, I'd like to know why you're... There was a lengthy delay while doing this to Jim, on the opposite end of the line. As well as for Anne, Chrissy believed he was going to hang up. But Cameron's voice came next. Measured and low. You don't get it. Chrissy, it's not about Jim, he continued. It has always been about you, not Jim. You are the one, along with your loyalty, who has been in the way for so long. You've been shielding him by providing cover for him, but you were unaware of the whole story. Did you feel the blood drain, Chrissy? What do you mean by Jim's in her face? Too deep, Camron added. It's been manipulating ropes and making moves with others. You are unaware that you have been blinded by love, but it's too late now. Therefore, there's no escaping the clutches of this. Chrissy wrapped the phone tightly. So what you do, you think you're going to damage us and him? No, Camron answered in a chilly tone. I'm not releasing anything to ruin anyone. The truth, which Jim has been too much time spent in hiding. The call terminated. Chrissy was left standing after a sudden her thoughts in the center of the room spinning. Camron recently acknowledged all of it, but there was more to it. Then he informed her that there was a larger scheme. And she wasn't going to watch passively as everyone around her ruined the life she had struggled for. Because in the days after Chrissy investigated Cameron's past in further detail, relationships and his actual reasons, she gathered together pieces of the puzzle and the things she was left reeling by the revelation. Family, as well as a number of other influential, the threads had been pulled by figures. Using Jim as a pawn in the backstage, a more extensive game. It was about ancient grudges or street beef, control over finances, and a struggle for power that spanned several businesses. But in her, Chrissy's hunt for solutions revealed something that would completely alter the proof that had been made public, that exposing the writings, images, and videos been tricked. They weren't merely revealing Jim. Those were made to shatter Chrissy, to cause her to doubt all she was aware of. Her battle to save her life for her beloved was far from being done. Chrissy wasn't simply leaving to allow Camron or another individual to take things without a struggle from her, as the drama seems to be going on. It's as if we're only beginning to explore, will Chrissy be a part of this spectacular story? Finally acknowledge her involvement in Jim's detention, or is this the final? One thing is certain. Violation of trust. Although this tale is far from over, we wish. I would like to know what you think. Was Chrissy an innocent party when it actually happened? An onlooker is enmeshed in a tangle, or something more sinister is at work here? Leave your comments below with your opinions. Additionally, remember to press the like button. If this turn shocks you as much as things stand, you don't want to miss the next event. So be sure to sign up and turn on that alert bell so that you are the first to become aware of when the next major drama to hit the scene. You are aware that we are in control of everything, delivering the unvarnished truth to you. Watch this space, because if you thought seemed insane, but hold on, The true mysteries are just getting started.